God may not give you the bread, he may give you the grain. And it's up for you to harvest the grain to get your bread, and then you go out and do the work. I'm not some run-of-the-mill dude. This isn't a come up for me. Like I said, I got all my degrees from HBCUs. I'm currently the political science department chair at Virginia State. I work at a HBCU. Like, I live, breathe, and bleed HBCUs.
Right. Now let's talk about the best HBCU homecoming of all time. Now, I got Howard University up there, NCANT, also known as GHO. Y'all know what that means. If you, anybody.
Some shit they made up.
South Carolina State, Virginia State, FAMU. Let us know.
No, you had 1 and 1A, South Carolina State and Virginia State.
Here we go.
Listen, man, there are no homecomings better than the two institutions that I've attended. Let me be very clear. There are no other homecomings better than those two.
That was a setup question.
Yeah, that was. I mean, those are 1 and 1A. I will say, I have attended a few other homecomings. There are a few others that I feel as if need to definitely be in the mix. We don't need anybody else to do for us what we can do for ourselves.
Indeed.
And I think this is just one of a multitude of things in which we're showing that we got us, and we need y'all to have us so that we can do for us.
The Highest Point Podcast.
More than the pod, it's a lifestyle.
Yo. Welcome to the Highest Point Podcast. This is a show for everyone who's willing to put in the labor to be greater and reach the highest point. Now, speaking about someone putting in that work, we have a man, a doctor, an all-around Black American crusader who's been boots on the ground, building for his community and beyond. He's a former vice mayor and city councilman in Charlottesville, Virginia. Currently the political science department chairman at Virginia State University. He's been featured in New York Times, U.S. Today, made appearances on CNN, The Breakfast Club, and many, many more. Also the CEO of the Black College Basketball Invitational Championship, the nation's first HBCU post-basketball tournament. I'm very proud to welcome Dr. Wes Bellamy in the building. What's good with
Thank
you, brother?
Good brother. I appreciate you for having me.
Yes, sir.
Much love. You know, my man, my partner, shout out to Russ, our COO of the BCIC. He was like, yo, you have to go on this podcast. And it was a non-negotiable. So I'm here, man, and I'm super excited. Thank you for having me, man. Even though you got that whack-ass T-shirt.
Come on, man. It's all day.
I mean, the hoodie on.
I had to rep. I knew you was coming.
Yeah, but no. It's all love. I respect him, man, and it's always a good thing to be here in Greensboro.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks a lot, man. Now, with this coming up, having you on the show, I wanted to ask you, could you, introduce yourself and let us know your role with the Black College Invitational Championship?
Yeah, so again, my name is Dr. Wes Bellamy. I usually just go by Wes, though. Doctor just means you went to school for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm the CEO of the Black College Invitational Championship, as you alluded to, the first HBCU postseason basketball championship in history. So what we have is our own HBCU March Madness, if you will. It's the first time in which we'll have schools from the Power 4 HBCU conferences competing against each other in a winner-take-all tournament. So it's a 16-team tournament, 8 men's, 8 women's. Each school that participates will be giving them $10,000. We cover all travel, lodging, food, per diem, and we're looking to provide a first-class experience for all student athletes. And then the winning school will get $25,000. So this is our effort and our way to give back to our institutions. I got all 3 of my degrees from HBCUs, South Carolina State undergrad, got my master's and doctorate from Virginia State, and I'm getting my MBA from Hampton now. So I really think it's important for us to support our institutions, and more than anything else, we don't have to beg anybody else for us to be in their tournaments or do anything for that matter. We have everything that we need within us, so it was really important for us to start this endeavor, and it's taking off.
Yeah, man, that's dope. I had no idea so much was happening with those winnings.
Yeah.
There's so much available for students and colleges I had no idea about, and I think that's really dope, and I definitely salute the whole movement what you guys got going on there.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that said, I wanted to ask you what inspired the creation of BCIC and what makes this tournament unique compared to other basketball events?
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, it's going to sound a little crazy, but like most millennials or Gen Zers or whatever, this idea kind of came from Twitter. So 2 years ago now, I was online, and it was after I had attended the MEAC championship in Norfolk. And there was one of the schools who had a great season. And it was my estimation that they were going to get an at-large bid. They had beat a few Power 5 schools throughout the year. They lost in their conference championship. And I thought, oh, okay, well, they'll at least get a look or the first 4 in.
Right.
And they didn't receive an invitation. And I remember seeing folks online, and they were kind of like, this is messed up. This always happens to us. Or we get the 16 seed to go play, Duke or UNC or Kansas, and we never really have a real shot to be able to advance. And my guy, Josh from HBCU Nightly, he's a member, he attended North Carolina Central. He was talking about it, and he runs, a sports blog and platform.
Okay.
So I hit him, and he was like, yo, we should do our own tournament. So I hit him, and I was like, bro, I've been thinking about doing the exact same thing. Let's connect. So we had some conversations for a couple of months, and life be lifing. So things kind of fizzled out. And this may sound crazy. December of that year, I had a dream. And it was like, in my dream, I could hear God telling me, like, literally as clear as day, go do the tournament.
Wow.
So it became a thing where, like, I have to go do this. I didn't know where to start, didn't quite know what to happen. I hit Josh back like, yo, bro, I got to do the tournament. He was like, yeah, man, go, let's make it happen. I called my man Russ, my best friend, and I was like, yo, bro, I really, really need to do this tournament. Like, let's do it. And he was like, man, anything you always say you're going to do, you usually figure out a way to do it. So I started doing some research, started looking into, like, how these things actually come to fruition. And I had a few contacts, me formerly being the vice mayor of Charlottesville, Virginia. Our athletic director at the University of Virginia, Craig Littlepage, used to be on the NCAA selection committee. So I hit him up and said, hey, these are kind of the things in which I'm looking to do. I've contacted NCAA. They really not hitting me back. He gave me a list of questions that I kind of had to write an essay on, if you will, to show that I was sincere with it. Then spoke to a few HBCU presidents about, like, well, what would they like to see for this to come to fruition? Got some feedback there. Met with Miss Peggy Davis, rest in peace. She was the athletic director at Virginia State University. She just passed away late last year. And she called the NCAA for me as well. We went through a whole gamut of questions. And then we presented it to the commissioners one by one. This is our idea. This is kind of what we would like to do.
Right.
Now, what was consistent initially was, hey, Wes, there's literally 5 or 6 of these proposals about an HBCU postseason basketball tournament every year. Like, how are you going to pull this off? And we were just really intentional. Like, I'm not like a poo-putt. I'm not some run-of-the-mill dude. This isn't a come-up for me. Like I said, I got all my degrees from HBCUs. I'm currently the political science department chair at Virginia State. I work at a HBCU. Like, I live, breathe, and bleed HBCUs.
Right.
So this is very important to me. And after meeting with the commissioners, they agreed to kind of give us a shot, if you will. While that was happening simultaneously, I was meeting with the city of Charlotte, the city of Greenville, a couple other places, I'll just say, Baltimore and a few others, telling them about the idea. And there were several suitors. Folks were like, yeah, we want to bring this here. And Charlotte seemed to be the best fit. And then long story short, man, and literally, less than 18 months, we have our first HBCU postseason tournament. So it just kind of goes to show when God gives you a dream or a passion, if you will. I was listening to something earlier today, Russell and I actually, and the pastor said, God may not give you the bread, he may give you the grain. And it's up for you to harvest the grain to get your bread, and then you go out and do the work. So, we've been grinding, and we're almost here.
Oh, that's dope.
Long story, my bad. But.
Oh, no, it's all good.
Yeah.
We like on this show, we really like to focus in on the journey because a lot of times people just see the end result and have no idea about those steps taken to get there. So, when you're putting that out there like that, people can understand if they want to do something like this later on in life.
Oh, yeah.
They see some of the game.
Yeah, I mean? And it hasn't been easy. I mean, in any shape, form, or fashion. The tournament cost us around $1.4 million to do.
Wow.
We've had to go through a lot of different things with a wide variety of different folks, but it's been clear, we have an opportunity to do this for the city of Charlotte and, again, our HBCUs, and we got one shot. There's been a lot of folks like, well, there's something that needs to be back there because a prior event left. Right. But what we've been adamant about is that if we come together and we do this the right way, then there'll be a multitude of persons who will be able to benefit moving forward. first and foremost, and more specifically, our institutions and our student athletes. So, we're really excited again. And you don't get anything without putting in some work, getting your hands dirty.
Absolutely. I see y'all doing it, man.
Yeah. We trying.
Yeah.
We trying.
So what can people actually expect from the event itself?
Oh, man. A first-class, world-class experience, first and foremost. Like, we want to ensure that everyone, again, has a first-class experience at the games. So, when some folks, and I'll just say this candidly, some people will come to CIAA in years prior, and they would just go for the parties.
Right.
But what we are really intentional on is that's cool, but if we don't support the schools and the student athletes, we won't be able to have this moving forward.
Right.
Like this is a upstart kind of venture and endeavor. We don't have the same resources as some of the other entities or institutions that have been putting together these events for a long time. ACC, SEC, whomever.
Yeah.
It's imperative that people come to the games. When you come to the games, you're going to find, again, first-class experience at the Bojangles Coliseum. You're going to see a wide variety of in-game experiences and entertainment. We're going to have local high school bands because it's important for us to give back to the community who will be playing and serenading us throughout the games. The games will be hosted by B-Dot, legendary HBCU host, as well as our guy down in Charlotte, No Limit Larry. You're going to, again, see also high-quality basketball.
Right.
And then the games will be streamed on the Rise Network, which is a part of Samsung. We are the first basketball and athletic endeavor for the Samsung network. They are, so they're embedded on every Roku and Google television. So you'll be able to see the games there. But, more than anything else, it's going to be a celebration of us. Like, this will be a black basketball tournament. Like, this will highlight, again, not only our best and brightest, but everything that we love about us will be included.
It's going to be a feeling, too. Like, just understanding, keeping the main thing too. You said something very important there, and I want to really just drill that in. Just like it was with CIAA, you hear people talking about they're going to the parties, but don't forget what brought it here, what brought this opportunity to have all these other events after the fact.
Yeah, we're here for the games.
Yeah, we're here for the games. Go to the games.
Right.
Hey, go somewhere else later on at night, but make sure you hit up the games.
I mean, we got a multitude of events. Like, we have several ancillary events that'll be planned, official events that we'll be letting everybody know about later. But, I mean, again, we have to support our student athletes. And like I tell everybody, if we don't come to the games, you don't support the tournament, it's not going to be any parties or anything later because we're not going to be able to have it. Like, I have literally one shot. We got one shot to do this and do it right, and then we can continue to do it. But, I am super excited, and this will, again, be an event for the culture. Like, some folks may have go to basketball games or they may have been to something and, it's this or it's that. This will be for us. And anybody who know me, they know I love being black. And this will be a black, professional, very engaging, enlightening, entertaining event.
I believe that. I already know it, man. It's like, how's the energy? Because we're getting close to kickoff. When is the dates?
So the games will take place on March 20th through the 23rd. We have a whole week of events. So that Tuesday, we'll be having our inaugural BCIC golf tournament at the Harry Jones Golf Course in Charlotte, North Carolina. You can sign up and register to play in that right now. On Wednesday, we'll be having something called the HBCU Sustainability Summit, in which we'll have several HBCU presidents from across the country all convening to talk about different ways in which we can improve our institutions. Then we'll have a empowerment luncheon for our student athletes. That's going to be actually hosted and co-sponsored by the Durant Family Foundation. So shout out to Dr. Wanda Durant, Mama Durant, and my man KD. And then we will have a Welcome to Charlotte reception that evening as well. The games take place on Thursday, but prior to that, we're having an education day for about 1,000 local high school students. That'll be on Thursday and Friday at the Bojangles Coliseum. And then the games kick off at 12 noon, and they'll be throughout the day on Thursday, Friday, and then the championship games are Saturday and Sunday. I'll just say I was at HBCU night for the Charlotte Hornets over the weekend, and, man, like, I was stopped every 5 minutes. People are like, hey, I've been seeing that. I'm looking forward to that. I'm hearing about it. So there's a great deal of excitement. We're anticipating around 200,000 people to come to the city during that time. Hotel room blocks have been being booked up. Tickets are starting to sell at a more rapid pace. So we're looking forward to it, man. We're looking forward to, again, putting together a very high class and entertaining event.
Yeah, man. This is for the culture right here.
No doubt.
This is different.
Yeah, like people be saying stuff like, "Yo, I'm doing this for the culture," and sometimes it be for themselves or their pocket.
Right.
Like we're not making money off of this. This is me being 100. Like we're paying actually to do this tournament, and then the proceeds are going to be going back into our institutions. I don't know another entity in which we talk about truly being for the culture and sacrificing in that regard better or different from what we're doing right now. Like this is a high ultimate level of sacrifice for our institutions because we believe in our people and our institutions.
Absolutely. And that's why we all got to come together and support it.
Yeah.
For
yeah,
real.
no doubt.
This can't be a one-time around. We need this continuously because,
Yeah.
you know, we had the CIAA in Charlotte for a minute.
Yeah,
and it
several
moved
years.
away like, what,
To
3 years
Baltimore.
ago?
Mm-hmm.
So, you
and
know.
doing very well there. Shout out to my man, Brandon Scott, the mayor of Baltimore. Brandon is on me every day about how this tournament should be in Baltimore. He's probably going to see this and be talking trash about how BCIC needs to be in Baltimore. But CIAA is doing very well in Baltimore. Very high attendance. The economic impact for the community is doing very well. So I'm proud of them and what they're building there. But we recognize that there's a void in Charlotte. So, you know, be a part of something that's bringing HBCU basketball back to Charlotte, highlighting our own, and, again, ensuring that we move forward.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, speaking about that, speaking about the great things they're doing in Baltimore now as well, how is the BCIC different from events like the CIAA, MEAC, and SEAC tournaments?
Well, we have all 4 conferences. They'll be participating in this tournament. So essentially what you'll have is the MEAC versus the SWAC, the Division I schools, and then the CIAA versus the SIAC, the Division II schools. So they'll be playing on different days, but you've never seen a conference postseason championship with all 4 conferences competing against each other.
Yeah, that's different.
The end of the season, the best teams will be playing, and they'll be playing for a real championship. Like they'll be receiving something that they won't forget. And again, the competition aspect of these interconference games, in which we don't really always have a lot of. You may have them sporadically, but we'll have the best teams, playing in the tournaments, and again, highlighting our own with the different flavors. I was in Jackson, Mississippi last week at Jackson State, and, the SWAC is very different from the MEAC. When you look at, again, even the CIAA and SAIC, like those 2 conferences are different. So the flavor in which we'll be bringing and combining from all these multitudes of people, and you got 4 conferences opposed to 1, it only makes the experience that much better.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Yeah.
Now, this is happening in Charlotte.
Yep.
What made you choose, because you had other bidders, other people interested, why the Bojangles Coliseum?
Well, we thought that 2 reasons. One, we know that there's a thirst for HBCU basketball in Charlotte.
For sure.
And then I got to give some love and shout out to my guy, Councilman James Smudgy Mitchell, who was very adamant that, we have to bring this to Charlotte. And, everybody has heard about the CIAA has left. But we recognize that there was, one, a large appetite for HBCU basketball there. The city came with a very interesting offer to be partners and not just a host. So there are partners in this endeavor, which also makes this different. And I think it only improves the value. And then our brothers of the 100 Black Men of Greater Charlotte. I serve on the national board for the 100 Black Men of America. I'm our national public policy chair and former chapter president for Central Virginia. Our brothers in the 100 Black Men of Greater Charlotte agreed to come on and support in a wide variety of different ways as well. So we thought that those things allowed for us to find a great spot in the Queen City. And then secondly, when we look at the Bojangles Coliseum, we thought that it was a venue that would fit our needs. It's not too big, so it's not the Spectrum Center. It's not, 20,000 people there. The Bojangles Coliseum hosts 8,300 people, so we can create that intimate feeling similar to what we have when we're at our HBCU games.
Sure.
They also, again, agreed to be very strong partners. And then when we look at the city of Charlotte as a whole, a lot of Black folk there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, North Carolina is like the mecca for HBCUs.
For sure.
So we thought it was centrally located for people to be able to have access and get to. You can fly in and out. There's several major highways to be able to have access points to get in. And we just thought it was a win-win. But we'll see what happens year 2.
Yeah.
But we got to get through year 1.
For sure. Now, speaking about that, those are all great reasons to choose the Bojangles Coliseum right there in Charlotte, North Carolina, because they always say location.
Yeah.
But that brings me to a segment in my show called Who You Rockin' With.
Okay. Who you rocking with?
Yeah, who you rocking with? So I'm gonna give you a couple options.
All right.
So it don't mean you don't like the other.
Yeah, this
gonna be my first choice.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Okay, cool.
So since we talking about HBCUs, I'm gonna base some of these questions around the HBCU culture.
Okay, a lot of these presidents are my friends. So all right, go.
So let's get it.
Okay.
So who you rocking with? We're gonna start off light.
All right.
Now we're gonna talk about the most legendary and impactful HBCU film or show. So let me know. I'm gonna give you some options.
Okay.
A Different World.
Okay.
The Great Debaters.
Okay.
Drumline.
Okay.
Or Stomp the Yard.
I got a different one, School Days.
Okay.
But,
okay.
Yeah, so School Days I think would be right up there. But out of the four in which you described, I would probably say, can I have a tie? Or no, I got to pick one.
You can have a tie.
I can have a tie?
Yeah, because I'm letting you, you can throw in honorable mentions too.
All right, so for me, it would be a tie between The Great Debaters and Drumline.
I knew you were going to say The Great Debaters.
Yeah, The Great Debaters, I mean, I'm a political guy.
Yeah.
Community work is what I do. I thought it was a strong showing of how our people can articulate ourselves in a particular way to advance what it is we're trying to do. But also throughout the movie showed a very clear way of how things were.
Yeah.
And if we look around today, kind of how some people still want them to be.
Yep.
Tied with Drumline because from a cultural aspect, shout out to Nick Cannon. That movie was shot in Atlanta. I grew up in Atlanta. Like,
I forgot that.
Yeah, like that movie I thought was super dope to show, what band life was like and whatnot. I wasn't in the band, but I did think that, it was real dope and show the evolution of a young man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was a really dope movie and what the culture was kind of about. So those would be my two.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There's definitely at the top of my list also was Drumline because
it was like Baby A&T too, right? Like they had y'all colors and all that.
Yeah. I think they had our letters too.
Yeah, had y'all letters, Atlanta Tech, but it was like, A&T,
we can imagine that's us.
Right.
But I got a son, like he's 13.
Okay.
I remember him watching Drumline when he was like 8. And he loved it.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
generational. It's still inspiring people to this day.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah,
Classic
for sure. Next, who you rocking with? I'm gonna give you some options.
Okay.
HBCU bands, the best bands.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw in FAMU,
Nah.
Jackson State,
Nah.
NCA&T,
Nah.
Norfolk State. And you can throw in the honorable mention if it's none of those.
Hell no, it's none of those.
Who?
It's Virginia State University.
Virginia State?
The school that pays me, first and foremost. We were robbed at the Celebration Bowl Battle of the Bands. We should have won. Shout out to my man, Dr. Taylor. Whitehead, shout out to Doc. And then second would be my other alma mater, South Carolina State University.
Okay, you can rep for
Marching
yours.
101. Yeah. So those are definitely 1 and 1A.
Yeah.
I've learned about making sure you say the right thing. So those are 1 and 1A. Now I would say probably after those two.
Okay.
You name some hitters.
Mm-hmm.
FAM, Jackson, A&T. We saw them all at the Celebration Bowl, Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
All did very well.
Mm-hmm.
The A&T's band is phenomenal. I mean, y'all do everything well. I got a lot of love and respect
we
for
respect
A&T. I would, and Norfolk State. I mean, don't get it twisted. Shout out to Dr. J. I love
Indeed.
y'all. I love y'all, President J. I need to be able to go back on their yard. I can't really pick between those two. I already gave my two. Virginia State and South Carolina State.
I got you.
I'm gonna leave it there.
I don't know if you know many band directors or not. I don't know if you knew Mr. Hines.
Mr. Hines.
Yeah, Mr. Hines, he was my high school band director as
Really?
well. Yeah.
Okay.
And then he went to A&T too.
Yeah, and turn it up.
Yeah. Now he's a principal.
Yeah.
So we got deep roots with Mr. Hines, so definitely shout out to him too.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, y'all do a lot of things well. You know what I'm saying? But football. But go ahead. And look, that's not a shot. Hold on, let me say this.
How is that not a shot?
I was just joking because y'all's former coach, it's crazy world, small world.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Brown, was my high school coach.
Oh.
His first stop after playing in the NFL was coaching my high school in Atlanta, Middle Creek High.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, he was my man. I mean, we've been to dinner several times, and then he was a defensive coordinator or linebackers coach. I can't remember at UVA when I first got there. So he and I got to Charlottesville at the same time. So we would always go to dinner and kick it.
Yeah.
Coach Brown's a good dude, man. So I hope he lands on his feet. And I hope y'all's football team, I'm looking forward to what y'all do moving forward, because when y'all are good, everybody's good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah.
Respect.
Come on back to the MEAC.
You talked about football, so let's talk about historically the best HBCU basketball program.
Okay.
I got a couple on the list here.
Ooh, okay.
NC Central, Norfolk State, Texas Southern, and Alcorn State.
Alcorn. They're going to kill you for saying Alcorn.
Say it again?
Alcorn.
Alcorn.
Yeah.
I bet. And Alcorn State.
Yeah. I learned that. Like when you say like ever, or you mean like
historically, like over time, who has been the most consistent at being good?
I mean, I think it would be hard to debate against Texas Southern.
Okay.
Like they have done, like over time. I mean, if you do your research, like they have been good for a really, really long time. I think clearly now, Texas Southern is still really good.
Yeah.
It's hard to debate the impact that both Central and Norfolk have on HBCU basketball as a whole.
Yeah,
consistently every year, they are perennial threats to win not only the MEAC, but defeat, and I'm not going to call them upsets, but defeat Power 5 schools, 2 incredible coaches who recruit very well.
Yeah.
So, damn, bro. I
like this guy.
Yeah.
Because some people say they got passions and be in certain fields and don't know about that culture itself.
Yeah.
I did my research, so I got some notes on the side. You literally knew that Texas Southern they are ranked the number 1 historically for those reasons you said.
Yeah. You could look it up. Like Texas Southern TSU is incredible. Like and then this goes back generations. Like they have been phenomenal. A lot of PWIs started recruiting black kids because Texas Southern was whipping their ass. For a very long time. And when you look at like schools like Cheney, Cheney's their women's program. I don't know how many of y'all know. Cheney, their women's program, the first and only HBCU to ever play in an NCAA finals game. Like they played in the NCAA championship. Shout out to Coach Vivian Stringer. And at that time, they didn't have a gym. Like when they made it to the Final Four in the NCAA championship, like they didn't have a lot of the amenities that several of these other institutions had, and they made it work. They couldn't give scholarships. Wow. They were a Division II school playing all D1s and whipping their ass.
Crazy.
So, I think it just goes to show we have a very rich history of HBCU basketball that we may not always know about or hear about, but I encourage folks who are looking to support our schools to come to the games, because we have high quality basketball, and in many instances better than some of the others in what you will see, specifically with Norfolk State and Central.
Yeah.
Like I encourage everybody, if you haven't seen those two schools play, especially Norfolk this year. They got a young man that's a monster. I won't spoil it, but hopefully they'll be playing in the BCIC.
Yeah, tap in.
Yeah, so tap in. Tap in for sure.
Tap in. How the rank go, just in case you're curious and for the audience. Number 1 was Texas Southern. 2 was Norfolk State. 3, Alcorn State. And 4 was NC Central.
Yeah, makes sense.
That
makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay.
Now let's talk about the best HBCU homecoming of all time. Now, I got Howard University up there, NCA&T, also known as GHO. Y'all know what that means. If you, anybody.
Some shit they made up.
South Carolina State, Virginia State, FAMU. If I didn't choose one of your top, you let us know.
No, you had 1 and 1A, South Carolina State and Virginia State.
Here we go.
Listen, man, there are no homecomings better than the 2 institutions that I've attended. Let me be very clear. There are no other homecomings better than those 2.
That was a setup question.
Yeah, that was. Those are 1 and 1A. Now, I had this question before, and it caused a great deal of debate. Now, I will say, I have attended a few other homecomings subsequently, since some people may have seen me answer this question. there are a few others that I feel as if need to definitely be in the mix. I don't know if, in all seriousness, I don't know if like those of us on the East Coast truly understand like homecomings in the SWAC.
Right.
They're different.
Yeah.
They're different. You can look at from TSU, I mean both Texas Southern and Tennessee State, although we know Tennessee State isn't in the SWAC, Alabama A&M, Alabama State. Aside from homecoming, I mean, if you look at classics, the Magic City Classic down in Birmingham, like, it's crazy. Like, I encourage everybody to go to those. But from a homecomer's perspective, Spell House is crazy.
Okay.
Of course, y'all's homecoming is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I think y'all might have the biggest budget. Literally, y'all people can look that up. I think y'all have the biggest budget out of any of the homecomings.
I don't know. I just go.
Yeah, I mean, y'all, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Central's homecoming is crazy.
Yeah.
Norfolk State's homecoming is crazy. You know, a lot of them are dope. Tuskegee is dope. I mean, as we alluded to, Alcorn, places like Miles. I mean, we sleep on a lot of these schools. Prairie View,
right?
But homecoming is homecoming, man. Wherever you go and you getting to see some beautiful black folk, and you can get you a plate. And you can just be, you know what I'm saying, and be in an atmosphere in which people are loving each other and we supporting each other with no nonsense.
Yeah,
I always have love for homecomings, and I appreciate on our homecoming tour this year so many folks being so hospitable to both myself and our COO Russ. I think we've hit up probably 15 or 16 homecomings this year, or last year rather, and it was a really dope experience throughout.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we all talk our little trash, you know what I'm saying, but I love all of the HBCUs, man. They bring something unique, every single one of them. Yeah. And that's what's so amazing about our culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like you say, like we could talk some trash and laugh. Yeah. And I'm gonna give you a plate. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we good. And we share that. We ain't letting nobody else talk about us. You know what I'm saying? We gonna joke. For real. But ain't nobody else about to joke about it.
That's how family is.
Yeah, that's how family is. Yeah. You my family. Yeah. I don't care what school you went to. You went to HBCU, you my family. Yeah. I ain't letting nobody say nothing about you.
Yeah, super facts. Yeah. Super facts. Yeah. All right, bet. So all right, man, that's all I got for you right now.
Thank goodness. I'm gonna go ahead and pivot.
All right, bet. So y'all are bringing 16 teams to the Power 4 HBCU conferences. So can you explain the significance of what this means to the black college basketball?
Sure. So, I mean, again, when you look at women's basketball and men's basketball, so how we're doing it, you have two teams from each conference. So the school that wins their conference tournament, they'll receive an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament as what's known as an automatic qualifier. They'll go and play in that. But what we'll be doing then is inviting the team that comes in second, as well as the team with the next highest net ranking. They'll receive an invitation to come and participate in our tournament. 2 teams from the MEAC, 2 teams from the SWAC, that's 4. Then 2 teams from the CRAA, 2 teams from the SAIC, that's 4. So that's how you get 8 teams on both men's and the women's side, which brings you to a total of 16 teams. The games will be spread out at 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. on Thursday. And then you have a break. Then we'll have games at 6 and 8 p.m. Thursday evening. We'll follow that same schedule on Friday. Games will begin at 12 p.m., 12 and 2. And then you'll have 6 and 8. And then on Saturday, you'll have the championship games. The men's and women's will both play at 1 and 3 on Saturday and Sunday from the respective conferences. So we feel as if we're bringing forth an environment in which our schools will be highlighted. Yeah. But also with the television, the streaming, and then the high quality basketball, we're going to be able to showcase again that we don't necessarily, I'm just going to say it, like we don't have to go to the NIT. Like we don't have to go and pay and play in the CBI. Right. We don't have to go and play to be in some of these other tournaments in which we are losing resources in some regard for the sake of just saying that we played in this tournament. No, we can play in our own tournament. Yeah. We can do for ourselves. We can compete against each other, and then we can crown our own champion. And that's kind of the thought behind all of this. We don't have to beg or ask anybody else to accept us. Yeah. We have everything that we need ourselves, and that's what this tournament is about.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to be – so many times, man, we just keep doing things because that's what has always been done.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It's like you just want to do it because it's always been done, but not realizing if we do some things ourselves, the benefit will be so much better for us. And we don't have to be validated by nobody else.
Yeah.
It's just like when people complain about the Grammys. We need to build our own.
I agree.
I feel like this is the same thing when it comes to college basketball, what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
it's the same thing. Like we can do our own. We don't have to ask anybody else to validate us, as you alluded to. We validate ourselves.
Indeed.
We're just as good as anybody else. And that's what this tournament's about. We're validating ourselves, but we're putting forth our best effort to present a first class and world class event.
Yeah, absolutely. So with this being the inaugural BCIC championship, what does it look like for this event to be a success from your point of view?
I think one, tip off.
Okay.
I mean, once we get to tip off, this will be the first time this has ever happened. So I'm a firm believer in counting your blessings.
Yeah.
To go from ideation to execution in a matter of a little over a year just shows God's divine planning.
Yeah.
So I think that tipping off, is a phenomenal thing for us, right? Like we get there. That's a win.
Yeah.
I think that success is also, obviously, we want to sell tickets. We want to get butts in the seats. But when we are able to give each one of those institutions their check for participating, and then when we give each one of those institutions their check for winning the tournament, and we provide them, again, with the first-class experience, I think that is a win. And then last but not least, when the tournament is over, and we're able to move forward in planning for year 2 and year 3 and year 4 and year 10, we're able to develop a legacy with the multitude of people that goes to show, again, we didn't need anybody else to do for us but ourselves. Those are all ways in which I quantify success.
Yeah. That's going to be a different type of self-assurance.
Yeah.
After the fact, you know what I mean,
and not selfishly, like not my
No,
own
no,
self-assurance. No, I'm just elaborating.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't like for me, it's for us.
Exactly.
And then this goes to show, like, what else? So we can pull off our own postseason basketball tournament. What else can we do?
Snowball effect.
Yeah. What else can we do? Like, there's a multitude of things we kind of got that we're thinking about, but the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
Let's get to it
for sure. I mean, that kind of answers my next question, but I was going to ask you, so why should sports fans, HBCU alumni, everyone who loves college basketball, why should they go ahead and purchase their tickets now?
Yeah, I mean, even if you didn't attend an HBCU, even if you aren't black, we do think it's important to benefit and support the culture. There are so many other people who benefit and eat off of the culture, and we can't sell culture and or cool. Yeah. But we can talk about what needs to happen. This is a way for us to put our money where our mouths are, not only with buying a ticket, but supporting the scholarship. Right. Not only with talking about, like, hey, this is what we need online, but actually coming and doing something about it and adding to the value of the culture. Yeah. So I would say for any person who's benefit off the sweat equity of black folk and who's benefited from the brain power of persons who've attended HBCUs, you need to attend this tournament so that we can reinvest into our own.
Reinvest in our own, and also enjoy yourself.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
It's like, gonna be lit. It's gonna be a time. Like I've been trying not to talk about the parties and all the ancillary events too much, but it's going to be a time. Like, rest assured about it.
Actually, that was my next question. I was gonna ask you, beyond basketball, kind of what else is happening in the area? That's a whole weekend.
Yeah, it's almost a week for to a certain extent. So we have everything from day parties to regular parties. Like I said, we got the golf tournament. We have brunches. You name it, we'll be having it. We got some special surprise guests that I'm not at liberty to talk about yet. But when you all, hear who will be coming and attending and participating, I think you're going to make sure it's a place in which you want to be. You want to be in Charlotte during this week.
Yeah, for sure.
Will it want to be here this week?
Will it be one of the recent 100 black men that was pinned? Will he be attending?
I mean,
because I've been locked in. I've been watching what's going on.
Yeah, there might be a light chance. I don't know. We don't.
We need him. Like, that's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
If y'all don't know, I'm alluding to Jeezy, man.
Yeah, Jeezy's
you're like, yo, like, he's different.
Yeah.
Like, what's so crazy, since I been in college, every interview that I ever had, I always threw on 101.
Oh, really? Okay.
Prior to my interview, to get me ready for my interview.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shirt tied up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But something about those Jeezy tracks, man, it just get me in my zone.
Oh man,
You know what I'm saying? And I'm batting
send
at
this to
about
him, make sure he
90%.
see it.
You know what I'm saying? Acceptance rate off of that.
The motivator, man.
Yeah.
The motivator. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure he gets to see that, man. You know, Jeezy's been a big supporter of the tournament. He,
Dope.
that's my brother, that's my man. He's been very supportive, and shout out to his team.
Yeah.
My sister Naima, and you know, several others.
Yeah.
He's been a mentor and like I said, man, a great brother, a great friend.
Yeah,
always
salute.
there when I need him. So you know, I really appreciate him, and I can't really say.
Yeah.
I can't really say too much, but
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, man, I think everybody is gonna want to be there. There may be a few folks who people want to see.
Yeah. I already know it's gonna be. It's gonna be
a few
locked
folks.
in. It's gonna be
Yeah.
heavy. Be there.
Be there. Yeah,
I'ma be there for sure.
Yeah, be there. Be there. Get your tickets and be there. Yeah.
I want you to key in on how this event benefits HBCUs.
Oh, yeah.
I know you talked about the scholarships and things like that. Anything else that you can add on to that?
Yeah, well, I think there's a couple ways. One, when our HBCU presidents convene at the HBCU Sustainability Summit, we're doing that in partnership with the National Black College Hall of Fame and the 100 Black Men of America and Greater Charlotte, for that matter. One, being able to convene our presidents to talk about some of the things that we need in order to take our institutions to the next level, as well as share data, share trends, share experiences in real time. That is a benefit to our institutions. Yeah. Secondly, the Empowerment Luncheon, we're going to have 320 student athletes who will be attending with presentations specifically from a couple people. I can't necessarily say who right now, but there'll be a couple entities who will be providing not only financial literacy, but mental health assistance and or support at the luncheon. And then, you know, at the games there in itself, we will be awarding each institution who comes and participates $10,000. And then the students from those schools will also be eligible for a special scholarship from the BCIC. So, you know, it's not just about the players, the basketball players, the students from those schools will also benefit. And then at Education Day, those 2 days, that Thursday and Friday, we'll be having a college fair, and we'll have different schools from across the HBCU world and sphere recruiting. So not only will we be developing a pipeline, but you're going to have something for presidents, you have something for students, something for student athletes, something for alumni, and then our institutions as a whole. So again, like if you talk about you love us, you talk about you love our culture,
Right.
this is the place for us to go and show it.
Yeah.
Not with our words, but with our actions.
Absolutely.
So we're looking forward to everybody being there.
Absolutely. So is it too late for people to be involved, whether it's individuals or sponsors?
Nope. So we're still accepting sponsors. You can hit me up at Dr. Wes Bellamy on Instagram, or follow us on the Instagram page, BCIC, Black College Invitational Championship. Our emails are readily available. We send you information there as well. We still have room for sponsors. I would advise everybody to come in very quickly, because that space is filling up. And then we're still accepting folks for vendors for Education Day, and then we're having a Yard Fest. So that Yard Fest will be Saturday in front of the Bowplex Coliseum, in which we'll have a multitude of vendors. So if people want to do that as well, all you need to do is go on our website. You'll see the sign-up information there. Yeah. So yeah, we locked in, man. We have a multitude of ways for people to participate, and again, this is about all of us. It's not like about me. This is about Russ. Like this is about all of us winning and everybody having the opportunity to benefit.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's dope. I did want to ask you, how is BCIC partnering with local businesses and organizations to create a major impact in Charlotte?
So from a community perspective, we're partnering with a multitude of folks. You know, as I alluded to earlier, the 100 Black Men of Greater Charlotte, they're our main partner, but also the Urban League, Young Professionals, as well as the Urban League as a whole in Charlotte. Those are another group that's participating and helping us out a great deal. Kappa Alpha Psi, I mean, they've bought blocks of tickets. HBCU Alumni Night, like there's a lot of folks who are very much so supporting us in that endeavor.
Yeah.
And then all of our vendors will be Black-owned businesses at Yard Fest, which we feel is very important. And then we'll be having a guide for a multitude of Black-owned businesses for people who are visiting Charlotte to go and visit while they're at the tournament. So, you know, it's really important for us to support our own. Folks who know me know that's what type of time I'm always on.
Right.
We're Black for a reason, and I try to spend my money Black. So we're trying to make sure we use Black folk to assist us in every way imaginable.
Yeah, indeed. So where can people purchase the tickets?
Yeah, so you can go online at our website, www.blackcollegeinvitationalchampionship.com. Hit us up on Instagram. That'll take you to the link as well. Also, tickets are all available on Ticketmaster. Check out Ticketmaster. Just put in BCIC. You'll see us come up. A multitude of ways, man. Go get your tickets. Ain't no excuses. And come on and support us.
Yeah, for sure. Support us, for real, for real. So I did want to ask you also, is there any final words for HBCU alumni, basketball fans, and those who believe in Black college excellence?
Well, I'll say this. We show how we value each other in the way in which we support each other. Mm-hmm. And this isn't an adventure or an endeavor for any of us to make a multitude of money and, have all this personal gain or shine or anything like that. This is truly about our institutions. So if you value our institutions and you value us, then we believe it's important for you to come out and support. Even if you can't physically make the game, buy a ticket for a kid who can't come. You can buy a ticket and donate it to a student to a student in one of the local HBCUs who would like to attend.
Yeah.
Spread the word about the event. Those are the ways in which, again, we show that we value ourselves, value our institutions, and I'll just leave with this. We don't need anybody else to do for us for what we can do for ourselves.
Indeed.
And I think this is just one of a multitude of things in which we're showing that we got us and we need y'all to have us so that we can do for us.
Hey, man, and that's how we reach the highest point. I can't end that no better, man. I appreciate everything you guys got going on. You definitely got my support. Everybody that's tuned in, definitely go ahead and get your tickets. I'll personally sponsor some tickets as well if it is someone out there that can't get their tickets. If you got a kid, they old enough, mature enough, going out there to have a great time and with some great energy, let's do this, man. Let's do this. So until next time, you guys hold it down. Don't let it hold you. Peace.
Highest Point Podcast.
More than a pod, it's a lifestyle.